Hi, this is Pastor Lou, and I do hope you're well. Someone once told me after they heard me talking that I was all wet. Maybe they have a point. Oh, hey Noah, how you doing? Noah always likes to take his boat out on days like today. But if you're told you're all wet based on what you say, that's a pretty big deal, because how we use our verbal skills and gifts is a pretty big part of who we are as individuals and who we are as a believing church community. One of the coolest parts of the New Testament, I think, is in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, where we are given a list of different gifts that God has given us through the Spirit for the building up of the church. Did you ever notice how many of those gifts have to do with speech, speaking wisdom, speaking knowledge, that prophetic voice, speaking in tongues, interpreting tongues? And since it's such an important part of the health of who we are as individuals in the church, let me offer just a couple things that will help us to improve the effectiveness of our verbal gifts. First, let me just say that the most important part of your verbal gifts has nothing to do with this and everything to do with this. Did you ever know anyone who in conversation runs off a stream of words and only pauses long enough to reload? Even those of us who are not machine gun speakers probably could do a better job of listening. Some of us, even sometimes people who are good listeners, are really trying to think of what they're going to say next rather than listening to what the other person is saying now. Let's all learn to be better listeners. Second, since God's verbal gifts are for building up the church, let's all let our speech be gracious, seasoned with salt, as Colossians tells us. I'm not talking about handing out pointless compliments or meaningless flattery, but truly building up those around you, truly showing love through our words. Indeed, our verbal gifts aren't so much about showing how right we are or how much we know, but our verbal gifts are for showing the love of Christ to those around us. Using our verbal gifts that way will show that we are not all wet. Be well.